Welcome to Bourbon and Biz, where the conversations are as smooth as the pour and as bold as the moves we make. I'm your host, Aaron Stark, and this is the podcast where we pull up a chair, pour a glass, and dive into what really matters. Bourbon, business, family, motivation, and the journey of life itself. Whether you're building something from the ground up, leading a team, raising a family, or just becoming a better version of yourself, you're in the right place. Each episode, we'll share stories, lessons, and real talk about wins, losses, risk, and the rewards, with a little bit of bourbon wisdom mixed in. So grab your favorite bottle, settle in, and let's talk business. Let's talk life. This is Bourbon and Biz. So our choice of bourbon for our first episode with me and the wife is Blanton's. It's always my go-to when I'm out in public and want to have a good old-fashioned or just a straight bourbon on ice. So cheers.
Cheers.
First episode. All right. First episode, first full-length episode of the Bourbon and Biz podcast here in Bowling Green, Kentucky. And I'm blessed and I'm thankful and I'm happy that my first guest is the one and only Leslie Stark. Everybody give a round of applause. She's the beautiful, she's the talented, she's the successful, she's the greatest, so on and so forth. She owes me a few bucks for saying that. No, not really.
We're starting this off very wrong already. This is not going to be good.
Just, I'm glad to have her on here. She's obviously the backbone to a lot of things in my life. We have wanted to do something like this for a very long time, and kind of put it off. We've got a lot of business going on in both of our lives. Then you add those two people together, and it's kind of insane. A lot of people just can't even understand it sometimes. But here we are, a lot of years later, and we can take some time and start talking about our lives together. So it's very exciting. The purpose of the podcast is to simply start our podcast with a nice little sip of a particular bourbon that we enjoy or that is sponsoring the event. I will say that I'd like to talk about the people that helped me put this office together / podcast studio. And first and foremost, the bourbon people. And that'd be Chris Cross from Crosswired Creations. Known Chris a lot of my life, 20-something years at least. Started out riding motorcycles together, done Polaris business together, motorcycle business together, and now he's ventured off into a bourbon business, and I've tried to give him all my business of any bourbon-related product that I could purchase. So a lot of the decor in here is from him. HavensDesigns. Chris Havens designed the sink and bar top setup along with the shelving that the bourbon is on the wall with. Thompson Plumbing come in and plumbed the sink for me, which is a bourbon barrel designed sink from HavensDesign. Beautiful setup. And of course, the bourbon was not sponsored, and it wasn't helped by anybody other than my pockets. We kind of got addicted to this. We'd go out and have dinner, and we'd stop by the local liquor store close to the house and realize that they had like a specialty shelf, and we would purchase a bottle or two every evening we would pass by. So tonight we started with Blanton's, and next episode we'll try another one. So you guys throw in the comments. Be sure to smash that like button and share the podcast to any friends that you think might be interested in something like this. But let's get it started. So obviously, anybody that knows us, and for the folks that don't know us, me and Leslie have been married for quite a few years. We've been together for 13, just celebrated our 10-year wedding anniversary last year. This year, we're celebrating our 11th. We are taking a trip to Alaska on a cruise, so we're very excited about that. One thing that no one can discount us on, and that is traveling. We like to create memories rather than to spend it on ignorant stuff, even though we do that sometimes too. So Leslie is a very successful local realtor. I'm very proud of her. She's been able to really grow her career just in 5 years. And she did that pretty damn fast. She didn't slow roll it. She jumped right in and become a professional and took off. And so, we're both very blessed people in this community. This community has taken care of us heavily. And, we are the parents of mine, hers, and ours, meaning I have got two. They are our oldest ones, 24, 18. That would be Alyssa and Hazen. And then we have the precious Claire Bear, which is newly 16 years old. Terrifying time in our lives. She just got her car for her birthday. Now it's time to get her license. And then our phenomenally smart, funny, crazy, witty, awesome child, hours together, Mr. Asher. He is 10 years old, and he is everything we always knew he would be. God knew he was going to be our last, and he delivered all the way, and we're very thankful for all four of our children. So, I think I'm going to start by asking let's start with real estate, and then we'll dive into our life together. But on real estate, there's a lot of complications. Thankfully, we don't put a lot of each other's careers on each other, but Lord, I hear a lot of real estate turmoil, and she hears a lot of car business turmoil. So what do you think one of the hardest competitions in the real estate business that's hard for you? It's easy to tell what we're good at, but what's hard for you in the real estate business?
I think for me, real estate is competitive. We have 900 realtors in our MLS, which is like our regional system. So you have to stand out. It's very emotionally exhausting. I love my clients, but it's definitely a little bit more mentally taxing than I ever anticipated. It's not sales anymore. It's problem solving. And so I think that I went so hard for so many years, probably the first 2.5 years, that I got a little burned out. And I think that there's a way of creating boundaries, because ultimately I didn't want to stop. I wanted to be the best I could be, always answering the phone, showing property all the time. And sometimes, you have to give yourself a little bit of a break with that, because if not, you're just going to get burned out so quick. And I had people tell me that, and I was like, not me, because I never want to be like anyone else. And I don't listen to anyone, obviously. So I didn't think that was a thing. But I definitely think the emotionally taxing part of trying to be everything for everyone.
Yeah. It's a hard balance to be the ultimate business person on every level, because you genuinely want to be the top dog. Not everybody's like that, but we damn sure are. We don't like to see people fail, that's for darn sure. And we like to see people succeed, but we kind of want to succeed a little more than they do. And I'm not afraid to admit that. But that doesn't mean that I want demise of my competitors. I've watched a lot of people come and go in this business, and at the end of the day, it doesn't really affect me that I see other dealers selling cars. A lot of people's like, man, your guy down the street sold 10 the other day. I'm like, dude, that's freaking awesome. That just means that the business is that close to me. So how do I obtain that business? But the balance between life and business is definitely the hardest part, I believe, in running businesses. Especially when you're growing, because you don't know, you're afraid to slow the pipeline down. Because you've been kind of told for years that if it does slow down, then you lose it all, and then you're that person that used to be good at something. And I will say that's one thing I've seen you grow heavily in. In the beginning, it was like it didn't matter what time, where we were, what we were doing. Funny story, we were literally in the Biltmore mansion.
You were so pissed at me. He was so mad.
Don't get to see it. Here we are. We're walking through, and we're not there for 2 minutes, and the phone rings. And I'm thinking she's going to ignore it. Nope, she picks it up. We're on an audio tour, mind you. Remember, if those of you that's never been to Biltmore, you should go. That's number one. But number two, an audio tour, you have headphones on, and they're walking you through each room, and you're learning everything about those rooms, and you don't get to stop and hang out. You got to go with the flow. And here's my wife talking about final walkthroughs and inspections and all this other stuff. And initially I'm like, I just want to strangle you. But then the sales part of my side of my life, I'm like, I get it. I totally understand. I was the same way. It's funny, these little TikToks that you see when people are standing in public and they're going through business and they're dealing with a client or they're dealing with a customer or something like that. It looks like they're in a bad relationship and they're arguing with their spouse. It's the funniest thing because it's so true. You look like you're crazy standing at Disney or at, wherever. I mean, at church. I mean, it's hard to break away and shut the phone off. It just is because what you have going on in your life really does not matter to the client.
They don't care, and that's okay because I understand there's a job to do. So I think for me, just like the boundaries and setting those, what needs to be done when, and if I'm okay with that ruining my time and my experiences and my money, because that is also, that's also important too. That's why we're ultimately doing this, is for the time and money, and obviously to help people as well. But I've got to where, like, if I'm in the middle of a dinner and it's not do or die. It's not I'm getting the call about yes or no to an offer, then I'm probably not going to answer your phone call. I'll wait. I'll call you immediately after. I might send you a text and say, hey, I'm in the middle of dinner. I'll call you right after, but I'm not going to answer at that point. But that was very hard at first. So that was probably the biggest thing for me to get used to in real estate, and, being different than competitors or being the same. So,
Yeah. So in 5 years, is there one particular sale that you made that's your favorite sale?
that's so hard because there's some sales, like I closed one yesterday that obviously a client I'd been talking to for 4 years, single parent, works their ass off. It was like a difficult deal to get done. And like even you and I sat on the phone with her one night at 11:30 on a Friday night and like talked to her. And so like that is very rewarding. So I love deals like that because it may not be the most expensive sale that I've had, but it's very rewarding for the client and it means a lot to me. And then mostly, again, not the most expensive, but like my family and friends, like I love to help them. And my best friend actually, her and her husband got married 2 years ago, and I was able to like sell his house and then also sell them a house together and then sell her house. So it was just awesome to make those connections with people and then be able to contribute to their life and their families. So I can't really choose one, but I can say anytime I'm able to help a family or friend, it's probably my favorite.
Yeah, I can think back to some of the best car sales that I've had, and God knows I've had a lot over the years of being in the car business, but even in the power sports business, the two differences between those businesses is, one, you're selling to people that want a toy and doesn't really need it, but they enjoy it. And then you get into the car business, especially if you're in secondary financing or subprime financing, you're selling a car to somebody that needs that car and they need a good car. They don't just need a car. They'll come in and they'll go, I just need a means of transportation, but that isn't true. They need a good payment that isn't going to kill them monthly on their budget. And they need a car that's dependable, that's not going to kill them on repairs. And they need a car that they can trade in a couple of years when their credit does go up and they're not horribly upside down. So there's a big balance there. But I can think of one of the cars that I had a guy come in and he was homeless and he was going through like a recovery deal, and he got his life back together. And he had this horrible car that was all the way on the ground. The suspension was completely blowed out of it. But I would watch him drive it up and down the street all the time. And he started coming to see me on a scooter. And I thought, and the guy was so sweet. He was so kind, but you could just tell, and he didn't have no problem telling you, hey, man, I'm just going through it, man, but I'm figuring it out. I'm gonna get my life ahead. And I promise you, when I come time to buy a car, I'm coming to see you, So then I watched him move into a car, and he come over and seen me one day, and he's like, man, I got the car for $500, man. He's like, so I had to jump on it. I was like, dude, it's fine. I'm not upset with you for getting yourself a car to drive. But then he come to trade that car in, and I remember the car was an Audi A4 station wagon, and the air ride was blowed out of it and it was riding on the bump stops. Anybody in the car business knows what that is, but anybody else, that means there's no suspension on this car. It's all the way on the ground. It's completely riding on nothing, but it got him around. And he traded that car into me and bought an Infinity like GX little, or maybe it wasn't a GX. It was a badass little SUV, and it was nice. Black on black, fully loaded. This guy, I introduced him on Facebook Live out here in front of the dealership one day. And I mean, he just almost was in tears, and it was just so good to see. And I haven't seen him since. And most would be like, oh, that kind of sucks. I'm like, not really. Because if I'm not seeing him, that means he's doing well. He's out doing something. He's living a better life than he was having to see him every day, drive by here and go to the halfway house. And so it was just kind of, I knew that got him out. His kids lived in another state. It gave him the ability to drive and go see them. So the rewards of a lot of people just think sales is just making money. And essentially that's the end result of making a sale, but that is not what drives salespeople to selling cars. Don't get me wrong. We like to make money. It definitely makes the whole process better at the end, but it's not why we do what we do. We do it because of the rush. It's pretty awesome to take a person that doesn't know that they want to buy something to turning them into buying something, but then also fulfilling a need for somebody that really, really needs it. So do you want to talk about how we met, or do you want me to start that off?
I can start. So this was 2013, so 13 years ago. I was looking, so I had worked this non-narcotic pharmaceutical job in sales, like traveling from county to county. And I was also waiting tables on like third shift because I was also doing both of these things because I just worked myself to death back in the day. And I had got let go from my sales job because they were doing in-person sales only, like in an office in Glasgow. And I was like, I'm not working in Glasgow every day. So I got let go, and so I was looking for something else full time. And my daughter's daycare, which my daughter was 3 at the time, was right next to a place called Big Country Power Sports. There was a daycare center next to Big Country Power Sports, which Aaron was the general manager of Big Country Power Sports. And I was like, I'm just gonna walk in there and see if they are hiring. Why not? Let's just see. I was like, it would be right next door. That's very convenient, at least until I decide what else I'm gonna do. So I walked in there one day and I was like, hey, like, are you guys hiring? And, he was like, well, we might be able to find you something. And, so like I get a call later on and he was like, hey, I might have something for you. Can you come back in? And long story short, I started working at Big Country Power Sports as a finance manager. Just be very honest. I was married at the time, and I was married to, do you want to add to that?
Oh, no, go ahead.
No, you're good. Okay. He's gonna add. I was married at the time to my ex-husband, who was abusive and not a great person. We were definitely on the brink of separation and divorce. So it was just not a good situation or a good time in my life. I was very vulnerable, very I was 22 years old and I had a child and was really just searching for that family that I felt like I never had. So at that time, Aaron and I like were friends and we were just, coworkers hanging out. And I really felt like, I trusted him and I felt like I could feel safe with him. And we were just, we were hanging out one night and downtown Bowling Green and we kissed. And it was just like from there, we've never been apart, truly. Like it was just, I think I knew at the time that I was going to be with him forever. Like at that night, that sounds very cliche. And I don't believe that when other people say it, but I feel like I definitely knew that he was like my person that very first night. So do you want to add anything to that?
Yeah. I mean, obviously it was a vulnerable time in my life too. I was, my low 30s. I was in the shape of my life. At that point. Now, I wouldn't say the of my life, my adult life. I was definitely in the shape that I hadn't been in a while, so I felt a lot better about myself, but not near enough to pull a chick like Leslie. She's in her low 20s. She's the hottest thing I've ever laid eyes on, and I genuinely thought I had zero shot. I mean, zero, none. Matter of fact, one night she calls me and she's like, hey, would you like to go get some office supplies? And I'm like, yeah, where you want to meet me? She's like, you can pick me up at BAC. I'm like, BAC, you going to the gym? She's like, yeah, I'll just meet you over there. I'm like, okay. Well, I pull up in my truck and she pulls up in her car. I'm like, oh, she's not at the gym. She gets out of her car and I'm in blue jeans and a hoodie and this chick is dialed in. She's got a lacy, leggings, not leggings, pantyhose, like tights with a skirt on and her a pretty top and her hair's done, her makeup. I mean, she She's not coming to the gym, and she's damn sure not spending the rest of her evening buying office supplies. And she hops up in my truck, and I thought, good God Almighty! And mind you, this chick I've only seen in jeans and dress pants and stuff like that at work. I've never seen her dialed in, so I already knew she was hot, but I didn't. I mean, obviously, I couldn't fathom how beautiful she was when she really did herself up. But I learned that night, and we walked into Walmart, and I looked like I was escorting somebody in there that I don't know. I didn't feel like I was with her. That's for damn sure. No one else did either, and that lasted for years, obviously. But she got like a desk organizer and a damn cup to put her pens in, and I thought I didn't get an ounce of a hint. And she's like, "Hey, you want to go have a drink after this?" I'm like, "Nah, I'm going to pick up one of my friends. We're gonna go grab Starbucks, and then a girlfriend, not my girlfriend, but a girlfriend of mine, another coworker, and but I think that was the turning point. She'll tell you that it probably wasn't the turning point, but I feel like it was. That rejection, especially the beautiful women, like they don't get it very often. And so I did it unknowingly. I damn sure didn't do it to play a game. But nonetheless, here we are. And lo and behold, there was all kinds of crazy drama. Her ex-husband was a police officer, and not a good one, a really, really bad one, still is. But he just dropped the ball, and I picked it up. That's the way I look at it. I watched what he was doing, and I did the opposite.
There was a lot of, I'll keep it PG, obviously, but there was a lot of really bad like domestic stuff, and like a lot of really bad like abuse that was going on like that end. And so I think really like it was just the right time. Like not brainwashed, but maybe like I felt manipulated and very like religiously convicted at that time about like divorce and that type of thing. Like, I'm like, okay, do I really? Because obviously I was still legally married. So I'm like, in the eyes of God, I'm married and I'm having sex with another man, whatever. Even though I'm in love with him, I just felt very convicted. So I was like, I don't know that this is what I'm supposed to be doing. So I told him that, like, he didn't bother me. Like, Aaron, we didn't talk for like 6 weeks. Well, obviously, something really, really, really bad happened. And I called, I was at the hospital, our local hospital, and I called Aaron. And I was like, hey, can you come pick me up, or can I come over or something? Or can I come
So
over?
she had called from what I thought was a jail phone. I thought it was one of my employees calling me to bail him out of jail, and they pick up and I hear this lady on the other line crying, and I'm like, hello? And mind you, I'm on the way to some dinner with a bunch of people that I was invited to that half of them I didn't even know. I think someone was trying to set me up on a blind date, to be quite honest with you. But I didn't know the people that I was going to. So I was like, all right, yeah, I'll meet y'all over there. And on the way over there, this is how much divine intervention, fate is in this deal with me and her. Like, I truly believe God realized in that moment it could go both directions. She could have made a decision to go back to that and deal with it for the rest of her life, literally. And I could have went wherever I was going and maybe have taken a turn that night that could have caused me not to look back her way, regardless of what was going on or what would persuade me, right? And we've had a lot of deals in our years together that has been that way. And I truly believe that God has stepped in every single time when we thought there was nothing else left. He just found a way to throw it right in our lap and be like, don't be dumbasses. Sorry to put God in the same sentence, but it's the truth. I truly believe he said, hey, I put you two together for a reason. And there's an undeniable connection that me and Leslie have got. And I don't think I've ever felt it in any other relationship ever with anyone in my life. And some people just can't understand that. We're going on 360 something days at this point from the last time that we separated.
Yes.
And we're not embarrassed to talk about that. We're not going to talk all about it, but we're definitely, we separated last March. And we separated quite a few times in our history together, because we're both troubled, hurt people. We both do not come from a good background, on family and relationships or any of that stuff. And so it's very hard for us to make better decisions and fix our patterns. But I think we chose each other. I think we chose what we know we have, and we chose our children. Some of the best memories that me and Leslie have had, now that we're over the negative stuff, is our trips. Where would you say the best place we've ever been?
Oh, that's hard because there's certain times where I'm like, okay, I had the most fun on this trip, or hey, I love this destination, or like I feel like we had the most fun. I think like recently, I know I'm going to say this, but probably our last Key West trip because I thought it was so fun. And we actually took we just take like a weekend because we don't want to leave our jobs. We don't want to leave our kids. We didn't have, somebody that we trusted to, not trusted, but like we didn't really have family. We would hire babysitters to watch our kids, which were amazing. Love them. But it's different now because we have your mom and she's like helping out with the kids a little bit more. And so like I feel more comfortable leaving for longer periods of time than 2 or 3 days. But I definitely think Key West this last time just because obviously the length of time and I just felt like we were just able to relax. Also loved like maybe our first trip to Montana because I thought that was just something neither one of us had ever experienced. So I loved experiencing that with you. It was amazing. So I think that that's one of my favorite trips and will always be. I think maybe also like our New York trip because I felt like it was just fun and we got to experience a lot of
New
things together. Yeah. So I loved all of those trips for sure. What about you?
I mean, Montana will always stand out for me. Key West, but both Key West and Montana have a very special place in my heart. Key West made me feel like a child, not a child, but like a teenager with his little girlfriend on spring break, which I never got to do. I never got to experience like go out and just have a good time with a girl you're in love with. You know what I'm saying? I had to grow up so quick. I never got to really enjoy anything like that. And so when we got to Key West the first time, we rented a moped.
It's so fun.
And
it's a blast.
Man, it was a freaking, and what brings you closer than a moped? Literally, like her belly button stuck to my back. We're rolling. We're having the time of our life, and I feel like a child again. I'm in my late 30s at the time. She's still in her 20s, so I'm hanging on to anything that'll make me feel young. And so, we're hanging out at bars and we're dancing and we're eating street dogs, hot dogs, which is
so good.
My wife's favorite thing in the entire world is to have a drunken
that was the
street
best
hot dog
that I've ever had.
I know, and that one was her favorite one of all time. She's supposed to say mine was her favorite one, but nonetheless, I don't guess she's ever had it in the street, which tells you that we're better people than that.
I don't think we are, but
no, I don't think we are either. You're right. But Key West, but Montana is just where I live in my peace. Like when I think of like my most peaceful place I could ever go, it would definitely be Montana because if you've never been out there, you just don't get it. If you want to believe in God, you should go to Montana and Wyoming. Those two states, I'm telling you, you should go because you'll find out real quick that we are very small in this beautiful place. That's definitely going to be my favorite place, but Key West definitely holds a special place in my heart. New York was great. The very first movie Leslie and I ever watched was a movie called Hitch with Will Smith and Kevin James. For the first half of our relationship, they called me Kevin. I don't know how I feel about that, but she loved Kevin James, so I'll take it.
Celebrity crush.
So I'll take that, I guess. But definitely a big part in our past of like favorite movies. I think one of the biggest things for us is the trust that we've put in each other during career leaps and decisions. Leslie was a lot younger than I was when we got together. I knew what my career was. My career was sales. I'm a high school dropout with an 8th grade education, and that's where I got to be. It's the only place I can make money. And so I learned that early on that's where I was going to take my career. Leslie is a lot smarter than I am, a lot more capable when it comes to intelligence and learning new things. And so early on in our relationship, she tried a lot of different stuff. I mean, she was into dentistry. She was insurance sales. She's always been great at waiting tables, but who wouldn't want her bringing you your food? So that's the truth on that. But car sales, she did that. I mean, there's all kinds of different things she did, but man, she clicked when she hit real estate. And I believe we just kind of put our trust in each other. And it really, that's for any couples out there that are battling through that, you got to trust the other person, but the other person's got to have your back through it. Like, you got to have the support at home to go chase another endeavor.
100%.
You know, even starting this business, you know, I've had a lot of people come to me and be like, you know, because Leslie was taking off in her real estate career while I was still working for someone here. And so into the facade of folks, you know, they're going to think that, you know, Leslie's making more or less, or whatever. But I've had people tell me that Leslie kind of funded the dealership when we started. Leslie will concur that that's not the case, but it really didn't take a lot to start this business. It took a lot of faith to start this business. So we'll take a couple questions. We took we threw a questionnaire out there of some questions that people would want to know about us. This is kind of how we'll wrap our podcast up. I think one of the number one things that I've realized about mine and Leslie's relationship, and as how we have grown as people, is there's really not anything that you've heard about, seen, read, watched in a relationship that me and her haven't gone through. We've both lost very monumental people in our lives, and that affected us greatly, still does till today. I don't think it's changed for either one of us, but we both were there for each other when really I don't believe anyone at all was there for either one of us, especially you. Leslie's mother passed away very unexpectedly while going through a shitty relationship with her, not by Leslie's fault. And that was in the middle of COVID. So on top of a pandemic, we're burying a person that we both resented and was trying to fix, essentially. I lost my grandmother, which was practically my mother growing up. She was the person that unconditionally, and I don't mean this in any dig towards my wife, but I've always said when I lost that woman, I lost the only person on this earth that loves me without any conditions whatsoever. Not to say that my wife doesn't, but obviously to love your spouse, there's some conditions. I mean, you know, and so, but to be real, that, you know, I can't even see a picture of her and not almost lose my breath, you know, and so we were able to go through that. But I believe that's probably the number one thing that makes us as strong as we are today. What the hell else can they give us? What else can they throw at us? I mean, God bless, there's other things, but let's just hope that we've checked the boxes and we're just good to move. You know what I'm saying? I don't want us to go through any more than we already have. And, but I do believe it's made us who we are personally and together. So, last question. How did you protect your marriage during financial struggles?
I think that finances is something that we haven't always had like big fights over. Because I think to me, it's always fixable. And I've always said to him, like, regardless of anything, like, as long as we have our health and our family and like each other, we'll be okay.
So, like, Lamborghini has always been on my list. I will own a Lamborghini. There's not a doubt in my mind, but it won't be one that I'll keep for a very long time. I will do it to check it off my list. But I'll be honest with you, if you had to give me the time to leave work at a little earlier time to go to the pool and hang out with my wife and kids and to have the weekends off with them and do nothing. Don't go on trips. Don't go just do nothing. If you told me that I had to pick between the two, I promise you that Lamborghini ain't shit to me. I do not care. And so that's been a big step back for me, even in this year when I'm trying to take care of this business in the way that I think that I need to. I don't even own a vehicle anymore. I literally drive stuff from the lot. Okay, to wrap the podcast up, we're going to play a game of Do We Know Each Other's Stuff.
Oh,
we're going to put a picture up on the screen, and it's going to be car related and makeup related.
Okay.
And I've got to identify the part of yours and how it's used, and you got to do the same thing.
Okay.
Put it up on the screen. What are those?
Oh Lord. Spark plugs? They are? Oh my God. Yeah.
Do you know what they're used for?
I don't know, like for the electrical of the, I don't know, like.
So they create fire. They are what lights the fuel inside the cylinder that pushes this piston down They keep firing simultaneously as gas is put into the system. So great job though. All right, so my turn. I can't see that. I'm too damn old. Is that a nose strip? What in the world? Hold on. Is it plastic?
No, it's like
Oh, is it like one of those cold stones? No.
it's kind of like that. It's like the gouaches that you like sculpt your face with.
Do you make them cold or no? Oh, you freeze them? Yeah, like the rollers that people use. Oh, okay. Okay. All right. We're close. All right.
Lord. Oh my gosh, I have no idea. I don't know.
Or guess.
It looks like a pencil sharpener, but I don't know. But that's not.
Love that.
I do not know.
That's an alternator. Charges your battery.
Okay.
Good job, though. I mean, it does look like a pencil sharpener. Oh, those are eyelash crimpers. Yeah. Yeah, curlers, whatever. Yeah. Yeah, my mom always had those. That's before fake lashes. All right, nice.
I don't know. It looks like a Bible.
A Bible.
It's just like how it was. Is it like for the dash? No. Some kind of filter? No. What is it?
Brake pads.
Yeah, see, I had no clue. I have no clue.
Spray tan gun. Spray gun for spray tans. I know what that is.
Oh, that's like for the tire thing, right? To put it on?
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
Tire
Yeah,
iron.
tire. Yeah, okay.
Good job. Well, they look like ponytail deals, but I would say that they're probably like wristbands. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Run down your arms. Yeah. Okay. God, you were really tough on her.
Looks like a speculum. Is that an engine?
Close.
Yeah, a transmission?
Oh, good job.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a transmission. Good job. I don't know what a speculum is. Don't want to know. Don't sound like.
Okay.
Oh yeah, that's a head scrubber.
He's got
That's
one of those.
Scalp scrubber.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, it you know. I actually have one of those, I think, or I had
You
one.
had
I think
one of
Claire
those.
stole it.
Yeah, Claire probably did.
All right, so we'll wrap this up. I want to thank everybody for tuning in, following our page, hit the like button, throw a comment in the comment section, subscribe, give us some ideas, give us some tips, give us how we can improve, be better at this so that you guys will tune in more. I do want to thank my guest, my favorite person in the entire world, my wife. I love you so much. I was very blessed to have you on for the first one, and I'm excited to see where this goes. We will announce the next guest here soon. It's going to be a good one too, so everybody stay tuned. Thanks for tuning in to Bourbon and Biz.